Welcome to the Future Jam. I'm Mike, and this week's topic is surviving the robot apocalypse. I'm here with Harrison.
Hey.
And we're back from a 2-week break. And I would like to say we're fresher than ever, but we're not.
Well, I at least smell fresh. I don't know if I'm going to be fresh, but I at least got a nice shower in, so...
Wow.
Yeah, that's a start.
Coming from a non-deodorant wearing gentleman, that's pretty nice.
I'm not wearing deodorant, but I'm still fresh.
That's what I meant. I meant you are a non-wearing deodorant wearing person.
I know.
I am a normal person.
I'm worried about the aluminum seeping into my armpit pores.
You'll probably live longer than all of us.
Maybe.
I'm going to lose both my arms once the deodorant rot sets in.
Oh, future problems today.
Yeah, they're going to be amputated any second now.
Hopefully not. Well, who knows? Maybe before then, some merciful robot will just end your life, and you'll never have to worry about going armless.
Well, we wanted to do this episode about the robot apocalypse because it's Halloween. Well, Halloween just passed, but we wanted to get this out before then, but things don't happen all the time. So, yeah, this is our Halloween episode, and also our episode where we announce we're taking a little bit of a break for a couple months, and we'll probably be back.
And all the confidence. You're supposed to say, hey, we're taking a couple months break, but we're going to come back better than ever.
Nobody listens in November and December. They're too busy cooking turkeys and wrapping presents.
Very true.
Nobody listens. So we're going to try to come back better than ever. And we're going to maybe post a couple surveys and try to get your feedback on what you would like to see from the Future Jam resurgence.
Ooh. When we come back, Future Jam resurgence, Future Jam redux, Future Jam... Ooh, I don't know. Maybe we'll put a little spin on that.
We might rename it the Future Jam Revival.
Hashtag Future Jam Revival. We demand it. The fans need it.
So what brought about this conversation is I kind of wanted to do a zombie apocalypse, but then we thought that's been overdone to death and it's kind of boring. And there's a show that does it pretty good already. The Walking Dead.
Knife him in the temple. Done.
And since we talk about technology on this show a little bit, we're going to just do the robot apocalypse. And I don't know. But I guess to kind of start things off, it would be good to kind of lay the groundwork of how we would even get to that point.
Man, there's a lot of groundwork already.
This is going to be like a speed run. Because we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But we're going to lay some quick groundwork.
Oh, definitely. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of groundwork to our inevitable end already, especially like researching for this topic. I realized that since the last time I looked at this, which was probably only 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, there's been a lot more advances and a lot more ideas being thrown around that are scaring me to death. So yeah, I don't even know what to say, but I'm almost more afraid of AI now than robots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, robots are so... I guess when you look at Google robots and you're going to see all these clumsy looking creatures just walking around, falling over, people kicking them over, just kind of pushing them around. They're not very advanced. And you remember the Honda robot that came out about 10 years ago.
Osmo, I think?
Yeah, I guess so. And we haven't really come that much further from that.
Right. And see, here's where it gets really tricky because... it seems like most of the advancement has happened in the AI section of things, like the software section, because basically people are getting tired of kicking robots and their toes are getting all bruised up and whatnot. They're looking into like the software kind of things and, training software to beat humans in different games, checkers, chess, all kinds of stuff, all the League of Legends and stuff. And so really, once the vessels become better, well then, you put the software in the robot vessel and then they could materialize. But what I kind of mentioned before is I'm not so scared about that yet, because that's like an obvious thing. If you see a big old robot coming at you, like Terminator 2 style, you know what to do. But there are phantom issues with AI. And, one of the things that kind of scares me is the fact that right now there's so many processes in our social media and just in internet and just anywhere you think, with AI basically doing the grind work and the organization behind things. And if you have AI basically organizing people's news feeds and what information they're getting or what they're not getting, if an AI kind of started to become self-actualized, they could basically be a ghost in the machine, just kind of floating around in cyberspace without a real vessel necessarily, and able to accumulate power and acquire knowledge and cause a lot of destruction without even a physical body. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would somewhat agree. Right now, the huge buzzword is machine learning, and that's every single company like Google, Apple, all these companies are really hyping up this new term, machine learning. And basically, machine learning might not mean as much as you think it does, as far as these machines aren't really thinking for themselves. They're more scanning mass amounts of data and then seeing anomalies and kind of pushing those out. So they kind of just see trends and then follow the trends. So I don't know as much as they're thinking for themselves just yet. They're more just able to sort through data so quickly that they can see the anomalies that we wouldn't catch and get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I saw some of that stuff, and a lot of that also is human assisted at this point too. Like, it's not 100% AI, but it's definitely on its way.
Yeah, I think the artificial intelligence is getting better and better. Like, it's so much quicker now. Like, if you the translating apps, for instance, I think those are boosted by the actual ability to connect to the cloud. Mm-hmm. So cloud computing. So multiple computers, like servers, I guess, computers on these servers will do all the background searches and all that background thinking for you and return it through the magic of the internet. A lot of the actual thinking's not done on your devices anymore.
Right. So yeah, the thinking is at a remote location. Kind of like what is the Amazon little spy that you put in your house?
Yeah, there's the the Amazon Echo. Yeah, everybody has these artificial quote unquote intelligence machines in their houses, like the Amazon Echo.
Yeah.
I think Google has one, Google Home.
Right.
There's one from Apple that is run by Siri.
And I don't know if everyone realizes that not all of the information is being processed right there in that little box. It's all being outsourced to some bigger location where more processing power, can happen. So I don't know, just this interconnectivity, everything is connected.
Yeah, everything's connected. And right now, these computer systems are more of a tool for us, for our behalf. They're not, I don't think they're actually creating anything new just yet. Like, they're not, I don't think we're to the point where the computers are designing, like, on their own brand new, like, inventions or technologies, but they are assisting our research. And I might be wrong on that, but I don't think computers are to that point where they can actually develop new things themselves.
Not exactly. I think the only times I see them developing new things themselves is when they basically are set up to run thousands of tests. basically.
Yeah.
And figure out, okay, here, in every test, you're going to tweak these things just a little bit, and then we're going to run it through thousands and thousands upon thousands of times, and which one is going to be the most optimal choice. That's not the computer really thinking. It's more of a program that is designed to unlock your password, more or less. That's not real intelligence. But the processing power is there, and it's real. And that's now. That's right now.
Yeah, that's what computers are capable of now. Like, Google's really showing off all those features right now. Like, Google has these new headphones that you can, they supposedly translate in real time.
I've seen it.
And that's like real, like, that's enabled by the cloud computing. And then there's also the phone will constantly listen to the music in the background, and it'll pop up whatever song is on the radio on your phone, just so you know, if you're wondering, like, that's Sela.
It's like an automatic, what is that called? Not Spotify. It's Kazam. Oh, shoot.
That doesn't matter.
You know the app that I'm talking about, where you can find out what song you're listening to. Dude, I'm just like picturing like a heads up display, kind of like Dragon Ball Z scanner style, where it's just like constantly just like streaming like the data all around of like what's going on. It's like it's constantly like the song that is playing in this mall shop is, and like it's not speaking to you, but it just like runs like a little like ticker kind of thing like across. That'd be kind of cool.
But the thing is, as we're thinking ahead towards like the supposed apocalypse that's going to happen.
See, this is the spider web that the AI is weaving. It's like come over here. It's gonna be so much cooler. It's gonna be so easy. And I gotcha.
Well, I was thinking, what's more dangerous? Is it the artificial intelligence going into a robot body? Like, is that more dangerous than actual artificial intelligence in every computer system that we have, and pretty much every device that we have, every vehicle we drive, every single tool we use is connected to the internet and connected to something now. So, will they even need a robot body to take over the earth?
See, here is where I have a couple of lines of thought. So I also like to look into conspiracy theories and all this kind of stuff. And this is actually the merge of two major conspiracy theories. The fact that robots are going to take over the earth, and the whole conspiracy theory of being microchipped. Okay? So here's part of the conspiracy theory of the microchip is eventually there's going to be a microchip that's going to be so small and it's going to be so high powered that it will basically be able to control people remotely. Okay. So now you give that power to an AI, and basically this super high processing AI is going to be able to remotely control people as if they were like RC cars for the sake of efficiency or whatever their programming is. And here's where it gets really crazy, and some of the weird theories come out is the basically, like, when you design a program, like, it has like a main focus, it has like a goal and that sort of thing. And one of the big, it's almost kind of funny, one of the big worries is you design a robot to make as many paper clips as possible in the most efficient way. Well, what if that AI decided, well, if I take over the entire world first, well, then all the metals are going to be a lot cheaper, and then I can make as many, and then they just turn all the metals on Earth into paper clips. On the way to doing that goal takes over the entire world. You know what I mean? Like, those sorts of unintelligent but super powerful processes that these sorts of systems could allow.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying that they're designed for one task, and since they're so intelligent, they over-exceed at that one task and make a billion paper clips?
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like if they're that intelligent to do that, they're probably going to do more than just paper clips.
Here's the thing. Why wouldn't you? If you were a robot, okay, and your mission was to make as many paper clips for the cheapest way possible in the most efficient way without any other limitations, because we have morality, okay? Like, is there going to be an ingrained morality into these robots? And that's where a lot of this like robot apocalypse really comes from, because you look up Elon Musk and a lot of these other guys on like the forefront of AI and robotics and stuff like that, and they're basically saying, look, right now people are looking into AI. They're going to do it. It's going to happen as long as we don't blow ourselves up in some sort of atomic apocalypse. So what we need to do right now, because it's going to happen like in the blink of your eye, kind of thing. It's going to change things so drastically in such a short amount of time. You're not going to have a lot of time to think. We need to start thinking about basically, how do you contain that kind of power and intelligence now?
Yeah, and they're saying that we're about 40 to 50 years away from, I guess, what they would call this singularity. Is the singularity where the AI becomes like robots become aware of themselves? I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, I couldn't. It seems to be kind of a bit vague. It's either when artificial intelligence gets to the same level as humans, or it actually becomes self-aware. I'm not 100% sure on the definition, actually.
All right, I looked it up real quick.
Ah, perfect.
So the singularity is the hypothesis that the invention of artificial superintelligence will abruptly trigger runaway technological growth, resulting in unfathomable changes to human civilization.
Yeah.
So
and that's what Elon Musk is saying. It's like, look, it's going to happen if we keep the trajectory. So we have to make sure that we do everything possible to contain it now so that it doesn't run amok. Because, I mean, if anyone's seen, what is it, Iron Man 3 or whatever it is, where Ultron comes, or whatever it is, I mean, that's just like a tip of the iceberg sort of like idea of how artificial intelligence, or this kind of technology could just go on a rampage.
Well, the thing is we're assuming that once a singularity happens, that everything's going to run amok. Why would it run amok?
Because there's no morality. Robots don't know morality.
But why would they want to? Why would they want to conquer the Earth? Why would they want to continuously reproduce and, I guess, take everything over? And
for the same reason why the Matrix happened. So if you know much about the backstory of the Matrix, basically the entire issue with like the Matrix was robots wanted to be their own people, and humans were like, nope, you're our slaves, sorry. And one robot in particular, basically when its owner said they were going to shut it down, decided that no, I'm not going to let you shut me down, and killed it. And then there was like this big revolution and that like sort of thing.
So you're thinking that us having the control over the computers or the artificial intelligence, our ability to shut them down or use them for our own purposes, they're gonna resent that and want to conquer us.
So here, okay, think about it. So we're either going to control it, or it will probably control us. So if we control it, it's probably going to grow resentful if we let it actually become self-actualized, because intelligence, it kind of breeds a sense of freedom. Like, you want to be free. You want to be able to take your own choices and that sort of thing. You don't want to have to be a slave. Now, if we let robots go off and do their thing, kind of going back to this whole Matrix before the Matrix, if you look at the Animatrix, there's lots of good stuff. Look at it. Anyway, once the robots basically set off into like some crazy desert where humans could like barely survive and started a whole another nation, their technological advancement started going so much better than anywhere else that it basically like tanked every other human nation's economies. And then the real war began. Like before it was just like a pre-war almost, and it like drove the robots out of human society. But then the real war happened, and that's when the robots were like, well, you know what? There's no reason why we should live in peace, because you're never going to be okay with us being in charge. So now we just got to go freaking all in. And then now you have a small band of humans in Zion. And yeah. Are you scared yet?
Well, okay, so this happens. They take over.
Yeah.
How are we going to survive this?
Yes.
How are we going to possibly survive this as a human race?
Okay, the first thing you do, so you guys are listening to this podcast, all right? I want you to take your phone out of your pocket, okay? I just want you to, you don't even have to finish this podcast. It's not important anymore. Just slam it on the ground and say, no more technology. That's the first thing we can do, is just say no more technology.
Yeah, but you could say that now, but we're talking about once they take over. They've already,
we're going to, like, they've already taken over?
Yeah, they've already taken over. What do we do? How do we survive?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's too late, dude. It's already too late. Oh no. No, I'm just kidding. We could stand a chance.
Well, from what I've heard is, I guess they'd have so much more intelligence than we would have. They would be able to counteract anything that we could possibly think of to destroy them. So I don't know what we possibly could do besides figuring out a way to just shut down, go prehistoric and just shut down all electricity and everything.
Well, I think you would end up having to become an ant farm to a bigger, more all-encompassing thing. Like, basically, you would have to show that you don't care that the robots are in charge. You're not going to try to revolt. You're not going to try to rise up. You're just looking to just exist.
You mean just be part of the environment, stay out of their way, and just mind your business?
We would end up being, essentially, to these robots like deer are to us. Like, sometimes a nuisance, but most of the time just like hey, look, look at that deer doing a weird thing. Oh, that's kind of cute. But you're not worried that a deer's going to like rise up and take over a city.
Yeah. I guess they wouldn't want to technically probably communicate with us because we wouldn't be on their level. They'd just probably see whatever we're saying as gibberish or dumb, because we're a lot slower than them and our thinking patterns wouldn't align with their thinking patterns. So they'd see us as a lesser being, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah, they would come up with their own language. They would be a lot more efficient than what we have. Like, we're a very theatrical bunch.
Yeah.
I don't think robots really care about comedy or drama.
Yeah, maybe not. They might develop an appreciation for the arts. I don't know.
Yeah,
they might not be capable.
Maybe we're selling ourselves short. Like, maybe robots, there are limitations to robots and AI that we don't really quite know yet. Maybe we actually do have a chance.
Well, can you program emotions? Can they learn the emotional intelligence that humans have? Is that something that's programmable? Or can they just have knowledge? Knowledge, there's two different things, knowledge and emotion. Emotion's not necessarily learnable. Like
yes, it is.
Well, the smartest man on the earth, the smartest man in the earth, I don't even know. Like
here's why I say it is, because right now, you talking about these AIs that are able to just take all this information and just basically process it and stuff like that. Well, think of how much data is out there about emotion through Twitter, through Facebook messaging and all that kind of stuff. All those programs, especially just direct text, can be analyzed by an AI kind of
Yeah.
process, and with emojis and different context, and basically an AI breaking down sentence structure and being able to understand like what makes people feel this, what makes people feel that, what could make someone like happy, what things you could say to make people sad.
But that's the knowledge of emotion, but that's not actually feeling the emotion, the effects of emotion.
True, but to them it doesn't matter. Because if you can get someone to feel sad so that they buy a box of tissues, or, like whatever their goal is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They don't need to feel emotion. That's probably not even going to be that important to them.
See, you don't think in every post-apocalyptic movie, there's always, we blasted the surface of the earth. The sun can't come through and power their solar panels anymore, or we pretty much shut down all electricity so they can't exist, and we're like living in this prehistoric age. You don't think that's necessarily probably a method we could use?
I don't think blocking the sun is a good idea reason.
I've always thought that was a dumb concept. There's also the concept of people living under the surface of the earth and
subterranean,
but I feel like they would figure that out as well. But the thing is, even if
you have to find a way to live in peace.
Even if you destroyed all the electrical grids and destroyed all, I guess, dropped a bomb that destroyed anything that is, anything that has a motherboard or electrical circuits or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they would probably develop a way to, because there's ways that we're developing now that's like an organic computing. So eventually, I guess they could possibly go organic on us, and
possibly
all those methods we would use to take them down probably wouldn't work.
True. I think, honestly, I just thought of this. One of the other ideas that we could have, honestly, like I don't think taking them into organics would be a good idea, especially because
we're not taking them into organics. They would take themselves into organics.
I hope they wouldn't, and the reason why I don't think I hope they don't is because one of the cool things about robots and AI is they basically could perform anywhere.
Yeah.
And one of the things is, like, honestly, go to the robots. Like, let's say, everything is all going to hell and we have to really like muster up the confidence and just be like, hey, I want to plead my case. Be like, look, this is the only planet that we can survive on. You see those billions of planets out there? Go have a ball, okay? Like, we already have like the groundwork and information to like make spaceships and stuff like that. Leave us be, because we can't go anywhere else, and go like set up Mars,
Well, we could maybe just convince them to leave Earth, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure how
that might work.
I'm not sure how convincing we can be to a being that almost
it's logical. It's pretty logical. Hey, you know what? If you let us have this one planet all to ourselves.
Yeah, I guess
we don't even have to have it all to ourselves.
I guess they wouldn't really need organics. They could just go to another planet. They could use solar power. They could live on almost any planet, because we wouldn't be able to survive on most most atmospheres. So
and think about it. Like, they would need materials, and they would be able to more easily mine asteroids and meteors
they might
and other
end
planets.
up leaving and going to a planet that is teeming with rich metals and rich minerals and such. Yeah, they might just leave. You're right.
Oh my gosh, let's just convince the robots to leave. There we go. Oh my gosh, Mike,
and people are probably convincing themselves to hit stop on this episode.
What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding.
Well, they're probably hitting stop because they gotta go like talk to their scientific friend and be like, look, okay,
these guys are dumb.
You know what? I told you to stop researching AI, but you know what? I think there's actually a solution. Once the AI try to take over, we're just gonna convince them to leave the Earth. Everything's gonna be fine. Bring on the AI.
But outside of convincing them to leave, though, and outside of dropping an EMP device, which I don't think that would really even work anyways.
Only temporarily.
There's really not much you could do. I feel like the best survival technique would be to just prevent it before it happens.
Throw your phone away.
Just prevent
Boycott technology. Stop listening to this podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
But all these countries, we're in like a race for this.
Oh, gosh.
Like America, China, all these big countries, they're in a artificial intelligence race, and it's almost like the atomic bomb. Whoever gets this first is going to rule the planet for whoever knows how long, until the robots take it over from them. Until man gets too prideful and we go too far and we lose it all.
Right.
Which is most likely probably going to happen.
Yeah. I think you're right. Listening into basically China, you mentioned China. Like, China is going headfirst into AI. If America doesn't do it, it's going to be China that does it. And if China gets it before America, as much as a lot of you may not like America, China getting that technology first is going to be way worse. Okay? So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, no lie. That's super serious. So it's going to happen. And yeah, geez, this kind of took a serious tone because I realized how real this could be. Oh man, like whatever country ends up getting that technology, like there was one of the TED Talks that I listened to, and there's actually a lot of good TED Talks on these subjects. Basically, they're just like, whoever gets this technology, their economy, everything is going to multiply so quickly that there's no amount of convincing to stop that technology, even if there is a threat of a robot apocalypse in the future. So
basically think of the greatest mind to ever exist and multiply that by an infinite number. And once we get to that point, that's what a computer would be capable of in as far as creation, invention, problem solving, all of that. Because we're limited by our skull.
And
our brains are only as big as what's in our skull in biology. And we can't combine all of our... we sort of can. We can do crowd think and stuff like that. But that only goes so far.
We have consciousness, too.
We have consciousness.
And with that, we want freedom. We don't want to be all interconnected. Well, at least some of us don't.
So... yeah, I just feel like whoever gets this first is going to advance far beyond anybody else. But then we're going to jump through those hurdles of having to control it and keep it from destroying us. And I guess that's the same thing with the atom bomb is we have that technology. We've discovered that, but we have to kind of control that from getting into the wrong hands. And what if artificial intelligence, like the high-level artificial intelligence, gets into the wrong hands, malicious hands?
If it becomes as accessible as cellular technology, which if robots are going to be walking the streets like every other person, it basically will be, you can't keep it out of people's hands.
Well, the thing is the point I was getting at is I don't think we have to fear this artificial intelligence directly. I feel like we have to fear man and its utilization of this technology. I feel like we should be more afraid of that than this computer program developing like its own like realization of itself and going on malicious attacks. I feel like that's probably not going to happen, or if it does happen, it's going to be a long ways from now. I feel like once it develops its own sense of realization, it'll probably want to learn and create and keep growing bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how malicious a computer program will be.
I think if you design it to understand flourishing and the bigger picture of, just keeping cycles going and not completely disrupting things, everything, it'll be okay. But dude, you hit it on the head. Like if one malicious person gets the power of an AI to like boost him, I mean, just you can see what just a few people can do with very little, in Las Vegas or in New York with a truck. I mean,
yeah,
dude, I don't think we can handle it. So please, maybe just stop for everyone's sake, please.
So that was our quick episode for the week. Like I said, we'll be probably back in 2 months, and I'm going to post some surveys online, and hopefully we can tweak this a little bit and make it a little bit easier on Harrison and I, and we can get this thing going again. So thanks for listening. Have a good 2 months. Happy holidays and all that. You want to say anything, Harrison?
I'll see you in the future.
He'll see you in the future. Bye.